Y'all, I am forever changed. Wherever. I am so already. Tomorrow is a wrap, bro. Tomorrow is a wrap. I ain't gonna be at work, but I still gotta go to the panel event. Child, I got back here. I had to take the bike back, which was an hour. Then to get home from where I took the bike back to was another hour. So it's 2 hours of driving. After 4 hours of riding, 6 hours total, including breaks that we took, like seeing things, taking pictures, yada yada yada. That's a whole 8 hour day, y'all. And then as soon as I got home, I didn't even let myself sit down. I said I go walk Cole because he was so ready. He was so ready. Just fed him, took a shower. I'm about to be ashy as hell because aside from putting moisturizer and aloe on my face, we ain't putting lotion on. I don't have the energy. I thought I was going to come in here and I was like, all right, I'll make like a little quick meal. I could pop my little alcohol free champagne and celebrate getting through that ride. I got out that shower and all those little hopes and dreams of other shit just went right by the wayside, honey. Right by the wayside. My legs, a little over, I think, 40 miles, 3,000 feet of elevation. Like, it was so many climbs. But of course, we went up a mountain. We went up mountains, actually. And it was the hardest climbs I've ever done. This was the highest elevation I've ever done. Not the most amount of miles I've ever done, but definitely the highest elevation. 3,000 feet of elevation or 3,300, one of the two. Child, I'm exhausted. I can't even make myself nothing to eat. I'm just going to sit here. I wanted to start my little book, but I fear I'm going to fall asleep the moment I crack that joint open because I'm exhausted. And it is only 7:14 and I fear I'm going to sleep. Sleep. That bike ride whooped my ass, y'all. It was great. I feel great. I feel so accomplished. I feel so proud of myself. Ice cold. But baby, when I tell you, I ain't gonna be able to concentrate on the book. Hey Angela, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't got nothing else. Nothing else in me. It was so hard. It was so hard, and there was no service the whole time, which it was actually kind of cool because a good portion of it, like a lot of the climb, the hardest part of the climb to get to the very top of the mountain, um, it was a paved road, but they blocked it so that no cars or motorcycles could get on it. So it was just bike riders, and it was beautiful. It was so quiet. Like, shout out to y'all because I'm really glad I went live before this because I thought a lot about what we talked about on the live before while I was on my ride. I had nothing but time to think, honey, between me listening to music and then sometimes I would not listen to music just so I could take in the silence and the scenery and all that. But I was thinking about what we were talking about, and I really appreciate the affirmation of like, just share your life, Erica. Share all aspects, no matter how mundane you think it is or how boring. And I really am like, yeah, like I was so inspired on this bike ride. Sorry, I'm like doing hip flexor rotations so I don't get all stiff. But and trying to stretch out my hamstring. Um, but I can show y'all my version of LA and it could just be mine. It could just be because it was just so cool. Like once we got all the way to the top, I was like, I could not believe this was like accessible to me. I've done some really amazing hikes before that taken me really high up, and I've seen really beautiful views, but like this was just something completely different. I cannot wait to share a vlog and show it. even though I don't think that the photos and videos can do it justice. It was just so breathtaking and so amazing. And I'm like, yeah, like a lot of people look to like all these LA influencers and LA content creators for this content of like this event and this and this. Y'all gonna see my ass outside discovering nature and just ridiculously beautiful scenery, and it felt really good to be in that space, specifically once we got to the part of it that no cars could be on the road. They literally block you. So like you have to take your bike up and around this big ass barricade that a motorcycle could not get up and a car could not get up. And when we entered, they actually had police watching to make sure nobody would go like break the rules or whatever. But like going through that, it just reminded me of like maybe what the world was like a few years ago, a few decades ago, if you will. Because I feel like we're just working overtime, building new communities, and this road goes through this, and this road goes through that. And each year we're losing forests, we're losing tons of trees, we're losing, like, we're displacing wildlife, like, we're really doing a number on the planet. So to be immersed in nature in that way, it just felt really good because it's like places like this still do exist, especially because I live in a metropolitan city, like a really big city. And it's literally like 30 minutes up the street. You would love to see LA from my eyes. I think it could be cool now. Like, y'all convinced me. It will be cool. It will be different. It will be really different. I also was just thinking about, I'm holding this and make my arm go to sleep. I also was thinking just about my perspective on things. Like, over the course of these lives, you guys have gotten to know me a little bit better, but I've also been able to be on, like, not that I'm not an honest person, but just more open and honest, um, and vulnerable in some sense. And in the small moments that I'm able to impact you guys or inspire you guys or teach something, it really means a lot to me because I'm still learning a lot and I'm still affirming myself and I'm still, like, I'm pretty confident, but I'm still building my confidence in a lot of ways. Um, but one of the things that I'm like, I need to shift the confidence push into is like truly creating a life I want. Like, I do for the most part what I want, but I also do a lot of what I have to. And I was on this bike ride and I was thinking a lot about like, well, what else would I incorporate in my day to day life? Like, I would actually want to do a ride like that once a week. I actually have been thinking for forever about like starting my mornings or maybe like starting 2 or 3 mornings a week, like down in Long Beach on the bluff above the beach, doing yoga or stretches or working out. Um, and that's different. Like, there's people who do it, but there's not a lot of content creators who do stuff like that. Um, and me even just exploring and looking for very wholesome pieces of LA that remain versus being so obsessed with the trends. That's something that really came up a lot while I was riding. I was thinking about like how we do not really even have to follow these trends. I was listening to some music and it was basically a lot of older music and I'm like, yo, we go with like, oh, these new songs get released, so then we start bumping them. And not to say that everybody gets rid of their old music, because I'm sure people still have their old faithfuls, but like you can literally curate the music that you listen to. I think a lot about how I feel like the music industry is going downhill, the rappers I don't really respect. Up until like this Kendrick beef with Drake, I felt like hip hop was definitely dying, the artistry was dying, everybody was using rap as a quick money grab, a quick fame grab. And it's like we as a collective can like call bullshit on these microwaved ass non-developed artists who are not actually in it for the art and pushing ridiculous ass narratives and just decide that no, we not listening to your new shit. We going back to this. I'm going back to that. Like, and that's what I'm going to bump. And I'm gonna run this up on Spotify. I'm gonna run this up on Apple Music. I was really thinking about how trend obsessed we are in society, whether it's on social media, whether it's in our music, even with television shows. It really made me start to think about a lot. And it's just like, I like what the fuck I like, and I just need to focus on that, uplift that. It don't matter if it's old, it don't matter if it's new, and I'm gonna lean into that. Sorry, y'all. These are, I guess, my post my post ride ramblings. It's the only thing I don't have to cook, so I'm gonna eat these. But these are really good. I love them. Chloe, you did so good today. You were really good in the house when you're by yourself. I know you probably be annoyed, but he be so antsy when I come back home, and he be ready to dart out the door. He just knows immediately we're going for a walk. Hey, Centrica. That's because no one is an individual anymore. I keep saying it, even with the people at work. And it's sad. It's sad. Like this hike. I mean, this bike ride was hard as fuck. And I wanted two black people in the group, but the other black girl who was also named Erica, I think she might be mixed. Like, I think she might be biracial. And everybody else is white. Um, and I look around them sometimes, and I'm just like, but this is cool. Like, I struggle a lot in being in white spaces because of what I feel like is just extra effort that I have to do on my part to like counteract their shit. But this actually works for the most part. Like, we had a couple of discussions where things got a little dicey, and I stood on business about certain things because they do sometimes they are a little bit blind to things. But I really enjoy the experience of biking around the city, now in the mountains, with this group of people. And I do it because I love it. I do it because it pushes me, and it doesn't have to look a certain way or be a certain way. Like, I think one of the things I thought about was like, well, nobody don't want to see this. And it's like, but you want to see it. You enjoy it. Like, this ride was hard as hell, and I was just thinking so often throughout it, like, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself. And then when we got to the top, it was just like, oh my God. And you know what? If I'm obsessed with it, I'm gonna share it because a bunch of superficial ass people sharing a bunch of shit that don't even matter because they obsessed with it. So why the hell can't I? You seem to be leaning into being extraordinary. The world needs more personalities like you. Wow. That's very scary. But yeah, it's scary. And it's so funny that you use the word extraordinary because when people ask me, like people I know, like close to me, ask me like, what am I looking for in a guy? I always respond first, an extraordinary Negro. And I think you're right. I think I am um, pushing up against like claiming that for myself too, which is only going to help solidify that is what I expect to receive in return. What do y'all think needs to happen for people to want to be individuals again? For their lives to change after they hit rock bottom. It's a lot of people hitting rock bottom. We have to continue to be ourselves. And honestly, that just means walking alone until we find someone or people who want to run at a great pace in life. Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about that yesterday with the alone part because I said to y'all on live, like, I just be me, it just be me and my damn dog. And I said it because I meant it, but after I'm like, because I think about a lot, I reflect on pretty much everything that I say, everything that I feel. Seldom do things leave my mouth and I never revisit them. Um, so I revisited that yesterday and I was just like, yeah, but I'm also very much so okay with it. Like, I don't need, at least not in this season of my life, I don't need anybody to want to do something with me. Or I'm not going to stop myself from doing something. Unless, like, safety thing, right? If safety could be a concern, then cool. But I really just be moving through the world, and people be like texting me or calling me and like, "Hey, are you all right?" And I just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm just doing this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing." Um, and I wonder sometimes, is that going to be a detriment to me? But right now, I think that it's really great because in the abundance of time that I spend alone, I am constantly reaffirming myself what I believe, um, and everything. And it's so funny because like today is like the first real time example that I like registered it like right after it came out of my mouth. But I'm like, I think I'll be having interesting shit to say because I hadn't seen the girl that you guys only heard her voice. You didn't see her on live earlier, but I was meeting up with her, Amanda, and we like stayed together doing this part because we did the 40 miles together again. Like everybody else did, like either some people met up in Pasadena, which would make them have done I think like 80 or 90 miles total with the loop. The ones who started at the leader's house would have wound up doing 120 miles today total, but me and Amanda decided that we were only going to do the 40 miles. And we were just like, because we were waiting for everybody to like get to where we had parked on the bike trail so we can meet up with them. And we were just catching up of like, how are you? And all of that. And I said to her, um, I'm really good, and I really mean that in this particular moment because I also feel like I'm allowing myself to register not seemingly non-career related successes, and that includes like just being fully present in my life and drawing from my life and being able to pull that into my work. Like before, when people ask me that question, especially after I haven't seen them in a long time, I'm like thinking of back mind, I haven't sold this, I haven't sold that, like I haven't done this yet, I haven't booked this yet. And it's all this like kind of like lack mentality of like, damn, all of this shit is not happening within my career. But today when I was talking to them, like in surrendering to like that's happening in life, I'm able to just identify certain things, and I feel like I'm in a very interesting place right now, specifically for like communicating character development and specifically like screenwriting and plot, and it's like all coming from most recent lived experiences, and I think I'm finally at a place where I'm giving credence to actually living life and not just compartmentalizing everything and like, oh, you only advance in your career if you got this particular achievement. But like, no, I'm actually being present and I'm traveling and showing up for family. And even amongst that, it's like, for me at least, interacting with my fucking family, specifically my parents and my sisters, it's psychology, it's character, but like I could pull so much from them and the circumstances that they put me in, the conversations that I have to have, and I feel really, really great about my take on story and communication after the last like 4 months specifically, where I did a lot of heavy traveling back to Detroit and back to Baltimore. And before, I would really count that as a negative. I would really be like, damn, I had to leave LA, which means I had to put my dreams on hold and I'm not accomplishing anything. Like, no. And even like thinking about the ideas that I have for even new projects and new scripts, it's like all of that has come about because I'm being present in my life, accepting my decisions, doing things because I really actually want to do them, taking whatever doesn't necessarily work out or isn't necessarily how I would plan, and rolling with that, and allowing their lived experiences to truly inform and enhance my work, inform and enhance myself as a person. I don't know if that makes sense, but I like went into that whole thing and she was just like, yeah. And like she said it in such a way of like it hit her. And I was like, oh wait, I think I just said something really insightful. And I want to be an insightful bitch. Like I want to be the person that you have a conversation with at a party or at a coffee shop and you ponder upon the thing that I said or the thing that we talked about for the rest of the day and it's just so intriguing to you. Like I want to be that person. And I felt like her today. And that was even before we got on the damn bike ride. Then when I met a new person who I hadn't ridden before because Shem invited this new lady and we were discussing various things and she gave me similar vibes from some of the things that I said to her. And it's just like I'm just being very present, very intentional. I'm saying what I mean. I'm meaning what I say, but I'm also like in being intentional, leading with like moving conversations forward and trying to add value. So I don't feel like any of the dialogue or conversations that I had today were like frivolous and like small. I hate small talk so much. I hate it so bad. That was a lot of words. I know y'all. I'm sorry. um, Many people get confused about alone and loneliness. That's true. And to go back to your point, Sandrika, we have to continue to be ourselves. Yeah, we have to continue to be ourselves for ourselves because that's the best thing for you. But then also, oftentimes, you being yourself gives people in proximity to you permission to be themselves. People are so caught up in other people that we lose ourselves or individuality. People get comfortable even faking to like, say, act, and do things everyone else is just to belong. It's sad. Yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad. I don't know if I can pull up some footage from my GoPro. Oh no, it died, so I ain't gonna be able to see it. Oh wait, did I charge it? I charged it, but it's in the car. I kind of want to show y'all stuff, but it's in the car. Oh wait, oh I don't feel like walking downstairs. My legs are so freaking sore, bro. So sore. Like somebody help me sore. I'm going to still do it though, because I actually kind of want to look at some of the footage myself. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. And don't mind this. My hair is wet. I washed my hair and I did a scalp scrub with the Taraji P Henson I told you about. I feel amazing right now. Uh, He used this GoPro session, which is really old, but it works so well. It's really small too. This was at the beginning. I don't know if y'all can see that. Where it was a lot of cars. The part where it had a bunch of cars, bro, stressful. Stressful. Shout out to you for your commitment to these lives. Cycling and just doing things differently for inspiration. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. This is just some of the GoPro footage. It was on like immediately uh incline. Immediately incline. I was like, bruh. Oh, here we go. Here you go. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see it, but it was such a beautiful river that was clean. The water was so clean, bro. I mean, I know that y'all are ladies, so don't mind that I say bro, because I say that all the time. Oh, it's not in focus. Hold on, let me see if I can make lower resolution preview. Oh, if I download it, I'll have higher resolution. Okay, I'm gonna download it because that one is a really, really great clip, but it's gonna take 3 minutes to download. I love that I can sync this to my phone. Um, I want more people to do what they want, especially when it's positive. Like a lot of people, and this is not me trying to judge, but it might sound judgmental, so hey, um, live their lives with certain circumstances and restraint. They're doing the best they can with what they got. And the only time they give themselves permission to do what they want or do what they feel is when it's going to be harmful, sometimes to themselves as well as the other person, but to other people. And I'm just like, so you can get in your mind that you won't allow yourself to be free in this negative ass, toxic ass, violent ass response. And don't get me wrong, because I be having them too. There's certain things that I will bust your shit about. Like there's certain things that still, even in my evolved state, I'm fighting about it. There are just certain things. I am fighting about it. I'm not even gonna hold you. But there is nothing on the other side of that spectrum for you. There's nothing positive that you want so badly or you believe or interested in or whatever that you are going to say F this circumstance, F what the rules are, what the expectations are from other people. I'm gonna do this because I want it. I partly feel like that's it. Cause like even when I think of like no shade to any of my friends or associates, right? What do you mean charge my GoPro to proceed? Hold on, y'all, because it's about to die. But I just don't live like them. And it's no shade to how they live, because if that's what you want to do that, please. But I think I would be a great example of just like doing what the hell I want because it's what I want, and I feel great about it. I feel great about this damn bike ride today. Like I really missed this group, so I feel amazing completing it. Um, but yeah, think about that. Like you give yourself free reign permission to get pissed and write Reddit think pieces about how you hate Erica. But did you write your novel yet? Did you like, child? The view is beautiful and serene. It was so amazing. Some people don't realize they are in a negative situation or don't deserve positive outcomes. That's real. That's real. The second love of my life um told me one time that we couldn't work because the relationship with me was too easy and he didn't think that he deserved nice things. And I could not believe it. He meant that shit with every ounce of his fiber. He meant it. Still boggles my mind. Okay, that might be better. Can y'all see? It might be hard because, and it was so clear. The water was just so, I don't know if it's in focus or not. It was awesome. I'll show more of this for you. We were like in the mountains, whole in the mountains. River going down below. You can hear the water. It was just my types of carryings on, okay? My types of carryings on. Period. My GoPro died before we got to the top, so I got stuff on this thing that I'm using now. I'm gonna put in the vlog. Think of it as a good thing because he wasn't the right person for you. He could have hindered you from dreams and aspirations. Ain't that the truth? And I realized that a little bit after that. Um, the crazy part is he actually could have been. And the crazy part is because he actually was murdered a few years ago in Baltimore. And um, before I moved to LA, a year before, no, like 18 months before I moved to LA, I had moved to, was it a year? It was like 2 years before I moved to LA actually, because I stayed back in Baltimore in a year. But I moved to Detroit, and my father had called me to ask me to come and help him. So I wound up being in Detroit for like either 9 months or a year. And then I left because it was a bunch of drama, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. But part of the thing that drove me to go there was not only that my father asked, but I needed to get out of that city because that man had a hold on my ass. And while it was on and off again, he definitely, I wouldn't say derailed certain things. I also still feel like a lot of things happened the way they should have. But I had very specific, I would say short seasons of like, bitch, you have lost your mind. And I had a few of them by way of that man. Um, and the saddest part of all of it is that he actually was fully capable, and he, long story short, to get to him passing a few years ago, I had like gone no contact with him. before that, like on anything. Like he, I think, followed me on social, but he didn't reach out from his own things because he knew I was not gonna respond. And I had to do that. Like I had to stand on business when it came to that man because Lord. Um, so when he was shot and was fighting for his life, it just so happened I was flying back to Baltimore and surprised some family member. I don't even remember who the family member was. My flight was at 5 a.m. He got shot at 9 p.m. the day before, and I got the news while I was at the airport the next morning because I again like had him blocked on certain things, and I don't really check Facebook or whatever, and that's where a lot of my like personal people are. Um, but when I got back, one of the first things I did was go to the hospital because he was on life support, and it was so bad, so bad. But outside of being at the hospital with him, one of the things that I did was to start to go through his social media, and he used to. This was well after, because I don't even think when we were dating, Facebook had live options. But he had all these archive or like past lives that he did on Facebook. And I went through and I watched every single one of them over the course of years. Like probably the most recent 3 years up until he was hospitalized and then ultimately died. Um, and you could see in his what he talked about and how he spoke that he was finally getting to the place where I always felt like he was supposed to be and realizing certain things. And I think that that's the saddest part about it all. Um, to arrive at the mindset that you probably should have had the entire time, but you allowed yourself to get distracted and confused and caught up and all of that. And then once you get there, to have your life taken from you, that's insane. I won't say everything happens for a reason, but a lot of things happen for a reason. I went through a lot with that man and been through a lot with that man. Well, been through a lot with that man and learned a lot from that man. That's what I was trying to say. I gotta cut this light on because it's getting so dark y'all can't see me at all, and I don't know if it's bothering y'all. Let me know if the darkness is bothering y'all. I actually have light coming in this window here, but I guess because it's a phone, it's not registering. So my room is literally not as dark as that looks, but yeah. Lessons I learned from him could have been why he was party up in life. I believe that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. It's like I said, he was my second love. My technically, this sounds so messy. But technically, the first guy I ever fell in love with is technically my best friend right now. But I'm not in love with him anymore, or haven't been in love with him for quite some time. Um, and then after him was this guy. And it's interesting because I am a very like learn what the fuck you need to learn. Not to say I don't ever repeat anything, but I definitely don't intentionally repeat mistakes specifically. Like if I'm gonna fuck up, it's gonna be in a different way. And every relationship, talking, whatever you want to call it, all of them have been different. I have experienced something with somebody and be like, I ain't doing that shit again, and then go on. I don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand because I try to be empathetic to everybody, but I don't understand people who truly date the exact same person all the time, or every relationship, every subsequent relationship, and they don't make you feel good. You don't feel loved, or you have a ridiculous, immense amount of struggle. I don't fully understand. Like, I understand it in theory, but in practice, I really don't understand it because my ass is single and has been single for quite a while because I'm standing on business about the shit I'm not dealing with no more. And I mean that shit. Does he know? Um, I don't know if he knew the degree of what the love was. He was like my first high school love. We met in high school. I don't know if he knew the degree at then, but we like tried, like we dated and all of that kind of stuff, and, but we never like had sex or anything. It was very innocent. It was very dope. Um, I'm so grateful to that man specifically because he was very protective of me, and he was like, very Erica is not going to rush certain experience in life, whether it's with me or with anybody else. Um, so that's not something that we talk about now. He's like whole married now, but at the time, no, I don't think he knew to the capacity that my love was. But like I said, we dated, so he knew something, and he felt something too. So, but also, I didn't. I don't think I ever knew the capacity of where he was at. We were young and dumb as hell. But I also truly believe in knowing who he is now. Like he's a great friend, but that ain't my nigga either. Of course, it's not my nigga. He's married. But I'm just saying, like, I get affirmations constantly of like, girl, this was not right either. So some of my family like still talks about him because they love his ass. But he's perfect as my best friend. How was I able to maintain the relationship throughout the changing of feelings? I wasn't. Ooh, that's the tea, honey. When this nigga broke it off with me, it was literally 2 weeks before Hurricane Katrina hit. I was back at school. This nigga waited for me to go back to school to do the shit over the phone because he knew I was crazy. And he said whatever he said, and we need to focus on school, yada yada yada. Well, he's still gonna be here for me. He still want us to be friends. Blah 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 blah. And I was pissed. I was pissed. I was heartbroken. But he was also very right. Like the reason why he did it was because he set up. Basically, I was selfish, and I was. At the time, he stayed in Baltimore. We went to the same high school. He stayed in Baltimore and went to a school that was like right down the street from my high school, right down the street from his house. And I went to college in New Orleans, so it was already a long distance thing. In addition to going to college in New Orleans, I was a, was recruited to play volleyball, but I walked onto the basketball team. So I was a two sport athlete starting my freshman year, like first semester. I literally walked onto the basketball team like within the first 2 months that I was there. And basically what my life looked like is like I would like that Christmas, I don't think I got to go home for Christmas because we had a tournament in Hawaii, I remember. And then practice some season stuff because season starts November for basketball, but volleyball season preseason starts August, right? Basically, I would only get to come home 2 or 3 weeks, maybe spread out, um, for the year because I was two sport athlete. Like going into my sophomore year, which is when Katrina happened, I had came home for like a week and a half, and I was pissed. Like we went to the movies and like we tried to do certain things, and he's studied engineering and was working two jobs because he was like paying for himself to go to school, whatever. And I was young and dumb, so I was like having issue with stupid shit. So like the stuff that I wanted to do, he tried his best for us to do, but he also only had a certain amount of time. So like I got pissed about shit like why are we going to the movies at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? But it's like this nigga works at UPS at this time, um, or at night, so he can't take you out at night. And it's like my little freshman ass going into sophomore year brain, and also like hadn't experienced much, right? I'm like, well, no, it feels like you're hiding me. It feels like this is weird because real people go on dates at night and real people do like real couples do this and real couples do that, and whole time like he was really doing the best that he could, and I didn't register that. But I also was leading from a place of like I only am in town for like 8 days, bro. You're gonna see me 8 days, and then you won't see me again for another 7 months, right? Because I had like basketball and volleyball 2 days on the summer. Like I didn't get to come home on the summer because it was just like training, and if I did, it was like very short. And I will never forget this. I was so pissed about little shit, and like I think the straw that broke the camel back is this girl that we went to high school with, who he was kind of cool with. Like they didn't have anything going on; they was friends, but like also I was going through his phone one day when he was coming from the movie theaters, and um I seen a text from her, and it said something to the effect of like Erica and my last name laugh like crying laughing, and I'm like, well, what is this about? And it wasn't like we were like loud about it, but I felt like the girl was trying to play in his face about me, and his subsequent messages like basically kind of like dealt with it, but I didn't appreciate it or whatever, and I was like pissed about that too. Or actually, he's a very quiet, like not on social media type of person. Don't put all his business out there. Like he just is that person. He still don't have social media to this goddamn day. This nigga like the best he got is YouTube because he got a Gmail account. And my young ass was just very like, no, you gotta claim me in this way. You gotta profess in this way. Real dates happen at night. Da 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 da. And then he waited for me to go back to school and told me like he did his best and nothing was enough, and he felt like I was selfish. And when I really look back, I was mad then, but when I look back on it, he was right. I think it was a lot of miscommunication though, because he also didn't articulate any of that stuff to me of like, oh well, I can't get off and I got to do this and I need money for this. Like he just didn't communicate those things. Um and when he did the whole we gonna go back to being friends over the phone, I was like, fuck that. And I just stopped talking to him. I stopped answering the phone. I stopped talking to him. And then, like a week or two later, Hurricane Katrina happened, and I still wasn't talking to his ass. Going through hell, we had to evacuate to Houston. He was calling my mama and trying to figure out what was going on. And my mother like, "Why you ain't answering Travis' call?" Oh, damn, I didn't even say his name. Why you ain't answering his calls? Da 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 da. Cause I ain't. And I went the whole like I came back to Baltimore. I wound up coming back to Baltimore because Katrina, of course, and the everything was shut down and didn't open back up until December. And I didn't return back to school until January. But I went to his same college while I was there, um, in Baltimore for that one semester, and I just ignored him. I ignored him. I didn't want to talk to him. I was pissed. And at the same time, my second love, him and I started to get closer. But he's also like I grew up with him, so I had already known him. Was never romantically interested in him, But like that's where like our thing kind of started. So then when he started to come into the picture, I was just like, and it wasn't until the following, like I had come back to New Orleans, and I feel like it was like February ish. Um, and he kept calling. Like he kept calling. I think at one point he tried to pop up at my damn house while I was still in Baltimore, and I was like not having it. Um, I finally like answered, and then we kind of just eased our way back into like speaking and checking on one another, and a bunch of other shit happened. Um, in the years following that shit, between him and the next guy that I had never known about, that he only most recently told me about. Like when that guy died, he started telling me shit. But it kind of never came back in reference to like a romantic way, because like I don't know, I don't have all the story, but like for him, he had a couple run-ins with that guy because we all came from like pretty much the same neighborhood or whatever, and apparently they used to play basketball same place or whatever, and at some point my name come like a bunch of like the first guy, part of what never made him come back around, even though we were developing friendship again and like still getting back to being as close as we were, was because he was very clear about this guy, even though I did not actually communicate this about this guy. So he has a running narrative in his mind about the second guy. And I never really pursued it because you fucking broke my heart. And then I had the second guy who wound up being the next relationship to take it to another level. Because, like I said, the first guy and I never slept together, but the second guy was my actual first. So the feelings were just intense and different. Um, so I don't know. I don't have like a exact play by play, but that's the story that's in my mind from my perspective. And as the years went on, we just kind of stayed in touch. We went to graduations for each other, and I went to his wedding, and we had a couple run-ins, which I probably had to do a story time about that, because one of my other best friends at the time, who we also went to high school with, before like 4 or 5 months before his wedding, was like, "Why are you letting him get married? You need to tell him. You need to ask his ass, what is he doing? What is he thinking?" Because she was very convinced that we were supposed to be together. And I actually did something of the sort, and that kind of like fucked us up for like a month. But then I don't know. We just always bounced back. But the very first time, I was standing on business for at least 6 months, and I was like, I don't never want to speak to you, see you, do nothing again. We was on the same fucking campus, and I would ignore that nigga. I guess sometime around the time I had started talking to the second guy, he had started talking to his current wife because they met at his college, and that was going on. I don't know. Um, Junior year college, I don't know. We just kind of, I don't even know exactly how we got back into the swing of things, but we just kind of did. We took trips together after that, and all types of stuff. Cedrica, what's the no for? They're comfortable in that mess. Chair. Howard, okay. I think we know the man isn't right for us, but we don't always trust our instincts. We don't, and because specifically this one, for a lot of years, I think I was brainwashing myself into thinking that he was, because he was different than most men, because he actually gave a shit about me, and I think he is a real part of, or a driving force in how I feel about platonic relationships and men and women actually being able to have platonic relationships. Even to this day, like our relationship is ever evolving, and we're getting, as we grow as people and shift, things are still developing. But I love him so very much because there's not really many men who I can regard in the way that I regard him, even if he's a man. Like oh my god. In the last 3 years, I've had a lot of times, not a lot, I would say probably like at least 3 times where I was like, I think I'm gonna stop being his friend. But that's not had nothing to do with like romantic anything. It's more about men doing men shit, and like we get into arguments, child, about just perspectives in reference to life. But what I appreciate about him and our friendship specifically is like this nigga really gives a fuck about me enough to argue with me, and like he's not walking away, so who am I to actually walk away? Like when I first moved to LA, he was one of the first people to visit. He not one, he was the first person to visit me. Since then he's been back twice. He's been back twice. Um and the last time he was here, we got into it because I told him that black men don't protect black women. And he's like, what are you talking about? I protect you all the time, and I protect my sister, and I protect my wife, and I do this and I do that. And I'm like, I'm not saying specifically to you, but in general, I feel like I am not protected by black men. Out and about in the world, I could be looking and keeping my head on the swivel for any black person in the space that I am in, but only another black woman maybe will be looking out for me because black men are just not operating like that. And he took so much offense to it. And he, in his own man way, had a bunch of arguments with me and like threw scenarios at me and like was trying to understand of what does showing up for black women look like and what are they missing and all of that. And we just had so much tension for like 18 months around this particular thing because he took it so personally. And even when I think about me being able to unpack how I feel about men and how I articulate certain things about men, a lot of that has been worked out via conversations in my relationship with this man in particular. Messy. No, my ex best friend was being messy, Chad. Chad, I don't listen to Taylor Swift, so I don't know that song. But I get your point. I don't like how women deal with in whatever way their feelings around their male friends. But when it comes to men having those same feelings of wanting more than friendship, they don't or can't. I'm confused. Say more words. I don't like how women deal with in whatever way their feelings around their male friends. Do you assume that women always have romantic feelings towards their male friends? Cause I have not had romantic feelings for this man since before he was married. And even then it was like a stretch. It was almost like this is what I should do. He's who you should be with. Y'all match up. Y'all align. Like everybody was saying it. My mama was saying it, my cousins was saying it, my friends was saying it. Um and I think my friendship with him specifically helps me audit what does the difference actually look like, because I like I said I love this man. I will go to bat for this man. He's still a fucking man. So there's that. But I will go to bat for this nigga. Um More often than not. And it's through this relationship that I really understand that a woman can really love a man and be invested in his growth and development and evolution and all of that and not need anything sexual or romantic. Like I genuinely believe he's rooting for me and like wants the best for me and wants everything that I want to have happen for me. And I know, or I believe that he knows that I want that for him. Because aside from us arguing about gender wars, we become very great resources for each other. He needs to talk, or he he's an engineer, but he also owns a bunch of property, and my father owns a bunch of property. So I speak his language. I know the shit that he's going through because I've already discussed certain things with my father. So um yeah, when people believe they're doing something, they think everyone is doing it too. I'm lost, y'all. I know there's a delay, but I'm lost. I'm lost with what Kendrika said, and I'm lost with that. Because I agree, but I'm trying to figure out what that applies to. When it comes to men, I'm saying feelings of wanting more than friendship. They don't or can't. Meaning when women have feelings for their male friends, they don't feel the same way. We tend to continue to work through that and maintain the friendship. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I also feel like that's because of how men view relationships and how men view interactions with women. I think a lot of men, I'm lucky in that my best friend actually finds value in platonic relationships with women. He doesn't have a shit ton of them, but he has sisters. He has me and I think two other girls that he would consider like really solid friends. But a lot of men don't actually see the value in having true friendships with women, so that's part of it. Um, but child, at that time, I was standing on business for so long. He was just fucking persistent. I think he was persistent, and at the time I was still in college, I had missed him, and maybe I was going through something with number two, and then maybe that's how he snuck his way back in there. He was always just a really solid guy. Like he always was putting me up on game. I used to even talk to him. Like once we got back cool as friends, I used to talk to him. Um, Not necessarily specifically about number two, but about feelings in general. And little did I know, he knew who I was talking about and had like had conversations with him, and was like putting two and two together on the back end. When men have feelings more than friendship for women, they tend to not be able to continue to be just friends. Maybe that's just my experience. Maybe. I think I think that men like to try their luck because the world is patriarchal and they think that this shit is about them. So like I would say my number two, love, when I stood on business and was like, yeah, we can only be friends. He tried to maintain a friendship, but that was just to stay in proximity to me, and he kept trying me. And sometimes I didn't pass in reference to interactions and physical engagement, which told me I had to go no contact. But I think that if I could have stood on business physically more consistently, we might have been able to be friends, but child, the flesh is weak. Because I think that he would have taken anything I gave him. And I think that the second Wild Out shit was toxic as fuck. Because he had a bunch of shit going on. Well, hell, I had a bunch of shit going on too. Not in the same capacity. I truly believe that number two loved me the best that he possibly could. Like, I was up there in reference to people that he loved in his life. And he really like there's certain things that like there's a bunch of bullshit that happened in our relationship, but there was also a bunch of shit that happened where it was clear that you was protecting me because you understood my value. So yeah, we probably could have been friends if I could have stopped going along with physical interactions when they were offered up. Oh, you were talking about how your friend was getting offended because he protects black women. Yes. And you were saying when people believe they're doing something, they think, oh yeah, yep. But even that, like I called him out on that in the reference to because like physically, yeah, you'll punch somebody or shoot somebody for me if they run up, cool. But like we have certain conversations that put me in a terrible headspace because your misogyny is seeping through. And you have some of it. Love you dearly, but you have certain misogynistic ideals. You have certain patriarchal ideals. We have had conversations like, And this is honestly, I feel like most recently where our friendship has gotten really strong, at least from my perspective. I told this nigga maybe 2 or 3 years ago now that he broke my fucking heart after this conversation. We were going back and forth about some gender war shit. And I actually articulated like you're breaking my heart. And it wasn't because of some romance shit. It was because he was like defending what I felt like was some bullshit ass man shit. And I, for the most part, have had him on a pedestal for quite a while. Like once we became friends again, he was able to like kind of chart his path right back to being on a pedestal. Like this is the same nigga who could have done things and chose not to, and like warned me about this and warned me about that, and just kept certain things front of mind for me so I didn't have certain experiences very young as a black girl in Baltimore because I had this nigga in my corner. And it was so disheartening to like hear him at the moment talk basically what I felt like was like some bullshit ass red pill nigga shit. And I was like sad about it and I cried. And it was like I just expected more from him. And he actually heard me out and like really registered it. And I felt like me being able to fully being me, emotional and all in that moment, and this doesn't make you not want to be my friend. She ain't. It's not like he didn't treat me like, oh, you too much or da 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 da. He was like really fucking confused and then agitated, but more so because he was not trying to elicit the emotions that he was getting. So he truly started searching for like what the fuck can he do to fix it and what is it he missing and yada 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 yada. But I think that that shit is rare. Like I think some of the things I'm able to say to him and disclose to him specifically in reference to how I feel being a black woman in this world, even when it draws up contention for him internally being a black man, because I'm speaking on general experiences with black men, and that's not who he feels like he hangs out with. That's not who he feels like he sees. It's not who he represents, and he has very visceral reactions to it. When he fucking, I think, dismisses my feelings or invalidates my feelings, and I call him on that shit, he reflects and adjusts. And that to me is definitely not normal for some niggas. Cause one thing I feel like niggas gonna do, too many niggas, not all niggas, but too many niggas is gonna stand on business about some bullshit. When I'm telling you what my experience is. Men don't always understand emotional and spiritual protection. Exactly. Exactly. And that's something that I guess over the last 2.5 years I've had to like not necessarily teach him because I don't want to say that. That sounds kind of arrogant of me, but like in our conversations, I've had to like articulate that in a way of like, nigga, we're talking about 360 protection, not just you beating somebody up or pulling the gun out. Also protecting me from what could be your toxic nature and your bullshit. Like assessing what the fuck you're about to say before you say it and thinking about how that's actually going to affect me mentally. This chat just went so goddamn left, y'all. Like, so left. I'm actually kind of glad it looks dark so that hopefully people think it's nothing and not a lot of. Only the real ones watching and get all my goddamn business. I wish I could see who's in here, but it don't tell me. Oh, unless they say something. Hell, his ass might be in here right now. If you are, do not call or text me about this shit. I said what I said. And yes, I just told the damn internet. I'm a firm believer that you don't know what you haven't been exposed to. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. That is very real. You also can't ask good questions concerning what you don't know. To a certain extent, but I think men need to train themselves to really lead with curiosity versus leading with dominance, because half the time they can't ask insightful or good questions because they're leading from a place of like superiority in almost everything, even if they don't know what the fuck they talking about. I think that's beautiful to have that type of platonic relationship. Well, thank you, child. It ain't the easiest now, but it's there. I I did a live on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, on Instagram with him one time. It was like last year, and we were in his truck in Baltimore. He took me to get these damn tacos. Um, because it's like a running joke that I tell him that he don't actually know what the fuck real tacos are. I took him to get real tacos here in LA, and he's been trying to find places in Baltimore that's comparable. But we wound up getting into about some gender war shit on live, and like everybody was cracking up, and they was like, "We cannot believe this is happening." Like, Erica, you are nuts. And I'm just grateful because I can be a lot. I'm not even gonna hold you. I can be a lot, but I don't like to be. I don't like to be made to feel like I am too much or I'm a lot. And this nigga be taking it in stride because I was losing my shit. I care, like when I really give a fuck about you and like your opinion matters to me. I get super passionate in the conversation, and I don't even know if that live is still up. Let me look and see. We was going the fuck at it, I recall. My sister watched this and she was like, I've never seen you like that before. And I was just like, well, but for the most part, we just were really, really, really honest with one another. Like, really honest with one another. And that's a blessing. Even if I don't actually agree with what his truth is, um, to get it and to be able to consider it and cultivating mine is a gift. And into not even that, to like have somebody who actually is going to think. Because I also believe that a lot of men, too many men, don't fully be thinking about shit. And like I started this live off with, like, I don't want to do no small talk. I don't want to do no bullshit ass talk. Don't come telling me some shit just to talk. If you don't fully believe what you're saying, don't come tell me that shit, please. Because I don't care. You're doing nothing for me. I don't see the live, y'all. Did I take it down? He challenged me all the fucking time. And low key, I ain't even hold you. I told him that I feel like he just challenges me because he likes some part of like he wants me to not be right even when I am, for some type of like Erica's, he knows I'll be right most of the fucking time, or at least I'm very thoughtful and considerate at bare minimum, even if I'm not like spot on right. And low key, he just be fucking trying to challenge it some of the time because he don't like that I fucking be winning and I know the shit that I be saying. And I speak so goddamn passionately. But I can appreciate it because even with him doing his male shit in that regard, it's with more love than some raggedy ass stranger or some lesser evolved, less invested ass nigga would do with me. But yes, he does challenge me. And every now and again, I'm like, I concede and I'm like, okay, I can see this. Or it just, again, helps me better articulate in a way that could be understood by their freaking gender because how I'm saying it ain't getting through to his ass, so I gotta rework it. He definitely challenges me. Yeah, I don't see this live, y'all. I wonder, do I have it anywhere saved? Cause how the hell did my sister see it if it ain't up no more? Child, I do not see it. Yeah, nope, it's not this far back. I think that this dude was put in my life to help me um, build confidence and shape my perspective around my interactions with men. Him, my father, and my oldest cousin are the black men specifically that have the most influence over me, and my interactions with each of them have, well, then other men that I've experienced, of course, but like them in a way of like actually being able to coax me out of a thought if it's something I should abandon. Um, I've really sharpened my perspective, expectations, grace, and all of that based on those three. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, y'all. I took it down. I was completely unhinged that night. But it was a good conversation. It was just a very passionate one. He also seems to like watching your reactions and frustrating you. Clock it. That part is giving toxic, huh? I need to get back to this era. Maya, who used to be my social media manager, she did her damn thing. Did her fucking thing with this social media, bro. Loved it. Yeah, I ain't seeing it, y'all. How do y'all feel about, or how are y'all's relationships with men? Dang it! I can't get this freaking thing is about to die. I'm trying to put it on the charger. Hey, Zinga. He also says he's supposed to be one of the first ones that I run whoever's son I decide to give the time of day to by him. But that I'm actually going to do. Girl, I got in the bed at 7 o'clock. That's how the damn ride was. I'm exhausted, but it was beautiful. Freaking phenomenal. But I'm tired. I learned what not to do and deal with in romantic relationships initially from my dad. Child, that's real, babe. That's real. In my adult life, specifically from like 27 on, those 3 men I just mentioned specifically have helped me rewire my brain and truly understand how to love a black man unconditionally and what that would mean for me. Before, unconditional meant self-sacrificing, throwing caution to the wind, accepting whatever. Now, I can accept who you are, but I can also challenge who you are showing up as versus who you say you are, and I can have expectations that are not necessarily about what I expect of you, but are in line with who you say you are. What's the expectations of that? Holding you accountable to that with love. All three of those men still had their moments of toxicity, still had their moments of misogyny. The parts of unconditional love that trigger for me in that with them is me not walking away because of it, because all other men in the fucking world don't exist to me until you give me a reason or you show your value. You These are non-factors to me. I told him this. I told my best friend this once, and he was just like, "You always saying some shit." And I was like, because we were talking about the man versus the bear conversation, and I told him, "Oh," he was like, "I know you picked the bear because you don't like niggas." And I told him, "It's not about me not liking niggas, because the fact of the matter is, I like the niggas that I'm supposed to like, or that meet a certain expectation, elicit the least amount of harm possible. I don't like the niggas who don't and who I shouldn't like. And I'm indifferent to everybody in between. Until a nigga presents his characteristics, his traits, his actions, his personality, so that I can group him in the group of I should like him or I shouldn't like him, the nigga don't exist to me. It's like you always got some shit to say, and you hear yourself. I'm like, yeah, I hear myself. I'm indifferent to you niggas, and that's what bothers you. I'm indifferent to most niggas in a patriarchal society because how dare I not give a fuck until you give me a reason to give a fuck. As it pertains to men, we wound up going on in the conversation, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then he understood. But even in that, those conversations can sometimes be triggering because I feel like you defending bullshit ass niggas or you're just counterpointing me. I think him and my father do it often, which is more steeped in their ego oftentimes than it is, and they actually believe me to be wrong. And my definition of unconditional love is clocking that, calling that out, but also that not being necessarily a deal breaker for me. Correct their asses, they apologize, and they adjust behavior, and that specific thing don't happen again. So I did what I was supposed to do, and loving you unconditionally. I had fun to a certain extent, but it was hard as fuck. It was very hard, and I ain't gonna hold you. The fun was in the beautiful scenery, the pride and sitting at the top of that damn mountain, connecting with my peoples, my friends, because again, they mostly white, so they're not technically my peoples in that regard. And just doing something that I actually want to fucking do. But the shit is hard and my legs hurt real bad right now. Like real, real bad. Angel says I'm learning not to be a fixer and helper in my relationships. That can be very hard. Cendrika says watching people and having male friendships help with how they think, what to look out for, etc. I just hate how one of us will catch feelings and a relationship will not last. Can you tell me more? Because this is like the second time that you've even mentioned or alluded to that circumstance. I like black men. Them niggas can kick rocks. Child, the dichotomy, the duality of like being attracted to and wanting a black man, but also you're still a fucking man and you niggas are exhausting too often. Black men, oh my god, stressed me out. These niggas I'm talking about included. Love my father down. We done been through some things too. Love that nigga down, but he is stressful. Love my best friend down. But depending on the topic of conversation, the nigga is stressful. Have you fallen for a man who hasn't reciprocated, Cendrika, if you don't mind me asking? Sorry, yeah, I'm trying to reply to DMs too. Part of the reason why some of the relationship might not last might literally be because they do not know how to make it. I don't know about y'all, but my parents, one, were not great examples for relationships and their respective relationships because they broke up when I was two. And then two, did not teach me a motherfucking thing about dating and relationships. So everything that I know now is what I had to learn in trial and error, what I saw on TV, what I have read, and what I hope for myself and just believe to be true, and I'm going to will it into fucking existence. This unicorn ass extraordinary Negro who has emotional intelligence, mental stability, it's an actual provider mindset, but doesn't need to lean heavily into the patriarchy and misogynistic tropes while being intellectual, a little bit ambitious, or at least some ambition, or completely ambitious. A phenomenal soft place for me to fucking land while also still being challenging enough. Oh, alright, Centrica said, I have mostly male friends. Yes, I have. I have most recently somebody who I considered my best friend who considered brother stated feelings for me, but after several months of trying to stay friends, we're not. My parents have been excellent role models for relationships. I haven't been ready to be in a serious relationship. Um, Centrica isn't in here. Let me. Try to send it in Discord. I don't know if she knows I'm back online. Sorry, y'all. I thought my phone was charging and it was not. Let's see. Is this damn phone charging? Yes. Okay, good. I don't know if Centrica is back in here because I have thoughts on what you said. Um, where I have questions specifically. Well, I'll wait till she come in because if she's not in here, there's gonna be no point for me to ask the question. I thought I had her in my Instagram, but I don't see. But y'all be having different Instagram names. see it. Angela, you back? This one person says it's in here, but I don't know who it is. So I don't know who to talk to. Okay, you're here. Um, sorry, my phone died. Thought I had it plugged in, but I didn't. You said your parents have been excellent role models for relationships. I love that for you. I love that. You got a head start in that regard. You didn't have to figure a bunch of stuff out on your own and heal from seeing toxic patterns. You have to unlearn toxic patterns. Um, I put heavy on my mom and some other women in my life. Not necessarily that I wanted to follow in her footsteps, specifically with romantic relationships, but I just saw her work so hard with the men she chose, and it just seemed like that was normal. So with my second person, I'm like, I put in a lot more work, um, and I should have thrown the towel much sooner, but I didn't because I thought like this is what relationships are, and kinda to a extent, my first person didn't help that because he was so different and didn't require work in that same way. So when I got to the second one, I'm like, oh, now it's I guess it's my real relationship because this is what my mama's relationship looks like, and what this person, my auntie's relationship looks like, and this is what this person's relationship look like. This is what Jody and Yvette look like. So I love that for you. I love that you didn't have to go through that. I've had to handle toxic situations. I didn't want to listen to my parents when they told me about the red flags I'm missing. With romance or with friends? Sometimes both child ain't that real. The friendship thing, baby. I will focus on a man's potential because I saw what he could be. Them jokes never wanted. Them jokers never wanted to rise to the occasion. Child, that ain't the damn truth. I'm having a lot of conversations right now. I don't have Sandrika's IG unless she deactivated. I feel like she might be this person that says Instagram user and they deactivate it. Yeah, this is probably Sandrika. Well, I sent the Discord message. I don't know if she ever came back in. Well, we'll talk about it on the next live. She'll be coming to the next live. I am. I've been on this live for an hour and 49 minutes. Bless my heart. I should have been able to get my ass up and cook something. Am I hungry? Not really, but I know I should eat. I know I need to eat banana because I don't want to get no Charlie horses in the middle of the damn night. They got my mom warned me about. I wish I had listened and walked away earlier. My mom told me he would kill me, then himself. He killed his baby and then himself. Oh my. I'm so sorry. That is a lot to process and a lot of loss. I'm glad you're still here, but I know there's a lot of complicated feelings around that. Do you want to talk about it? I don't want to ask questions if you don't want to talk about it. Because sometimes, as well meaning as our parents are, we might not be fully equipped to identify red flags. So I'm curious if you, what were the red flags that you didn't listen to your mom about? He told me his paternal grandparents died by suicide. I think that is in and of itself isn't necessarily a red flag to me. I don't know if I would peep that. I think his red flags would have to be more related to him, his perspective of that particular circumstance, how he talked about that particular those incidences. Um, uh, After hearing that, I would be looking for what is his drive and ambition in life, stuff like that. So I think that that particular statement or disclosing of that, I think that that's a pretty easy red flag to miss because it's kind of orange. I get that. I think um, my mindset is a little interesting in that there's a lot of things both my parental generation and my grandparental generation um, have done, and I actively sought to do the opposite. So when I think about just them doing it being a red flag, I wonder if that would apply to like other stuff, right? Like there's so many things that I feel like is a contradiction to like how I was raised, and I live a certain life that I was not raised to live, and that's in spite of what was modeled for me versus um imitating. So if there were no other discernible um traits, perspectives, or mindsets that align with that action, I'm just saying I understand how you missed it. Oh, a new episode of The Shy. I gotta watch that, child. I forgot. I totally forgot. I do not feel like cooking, but I feel like I need to eat something. So here we go, getting our asses up. Oh, God, help me. My damn legs. Fix it, Jesus. My ass ain't bike in 2 months. For real. Aside from going to the grocery store here and there. And I go get my goofy ass up and do 3,000 incline 40 miles. Like, is it crack, Erica? What is it, honey? What is it? Um, I was like, let me get back in this food and get my ass in the bed. I need to defrost stuff. There were so many. He was an alcoholic, and I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that stuff, those I would say are red flags. I'm not necessarily inclined to um, judge based off of where somebody come from. For lack of better words, I can't come up with another word for judge. Because some people might be out to defy the odds, like myself, but then still fell into certain behaviors. I'm really sorry that you had to. You didn't have to, but I'm sorry that you experienced that. That is, that's freaking tough. What the hell is this? Oh God! Oh God! Me bend it down. It's like my fucking hamstrings are on fire. But it's a good burn. It's a good burn. I gotta do this at least once a week because the way I desperately want to be able to do shit like this, like it's easy. I need that. Do you have other children? Or more children, not other children? I feel like that was not good use of words. Do you have additional children? Alright, I gotta defrost these shrimp. I'll make a very quick shrimp fried rice, but I want to stay defrost a little bit. Cendrika, are you back in here yet? not get this damn fruit in here fast enough before the next thing I know, this shit is going bad. I just bought this yesterday. Like, what the hell? I'm gonna use this one. That one is about to turn. I left it in the bag. That's what that is. Hey Google, how should you store peaches?
On the website glad.com, they say, once ripe, the ideal way to keep peaches fresh is in a bag with large holes or, if they aren't being kept in the refrigerator, in an open bag away from other fruits.
Okay, so I need to put these in the fridge. He only has it. Oh, it wasn't your daughter? Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. That's a lot. These carrots I need to cut up and put in water. Oh, you don't have kids. You don't have hysterectomy. Spent 8 hours explaining why God didn't call me. What? Child. That man, I hope. Let me be quiet. Don't speak ill on the dead, Erica. Do not speak ill on the dead. Cannot do that. That was ridiculous. There's not a doubt in my mind that he isn't where he belongs right now. Not one doubt. What made you, if you don't mind me asking, what made you fall in love with him? What was it about him? Okay, these apples better not be tripping on me. Hey Google, how to store apples?
On the website gardenersworld.com, they say, the main consideration when storing apples is to keep them cool, either in the fridge or in a cool but humid room such as a cellar or unheated garage. But there are other considerations, too. Harvest your apples with care and try to keep the apple stalk intact, as this can help prevent the fruit from rotting.
I put everything in the fridge, so I have to always double check to make sure something will do well in the fridge versus out. I be wanting to put every goddamn thing in the fridge. I gotta find some place to get bulk organic hemp seeds because this little ass bag was $7, but 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds is 10 grams of protein. That is amazing. That's more than freaking protein powder. Alright. I wasn't in love with him. I dealt with him because he blocked men from approaching me or interfering with my relationships. That's why you married him? You were married to him, right? Am I reading this right? You might not have said that. I might have made that up in my head, y'all. Now I think about it. Okay, I feel like this would be have to be a conversation. Oh, you didn't marry him. Okay. But he was your most serious relationship. That's what you said. Is that correct? So what made him? I'm just trying to get to an understanding of why I take him seriously if he had all this stuff going on. What attracted you to him? Now I'm putting these damn dishes away. I don't want to do nothing. I'm about to make me some goddamn cereal, put them shrimp to the frost in the fridge, and just have to eat in the morning because I'm tired. Wow. Okay. Do you feel like you weren't getting other prospects before? Did he court you and did it all disappear? Why is this thing being weird? Probably from the damn. Alright, prospects. I must date a few men who I didn't know. Unless he was following me and had tabs on me. Wow. Men are dangerous. Very dangerous. Wow. Listen, he answers prayers, y'all. He answers prayers. We just don't know always how it's being answered. wanted to get up out the way. I'm literally about to eat cereal for dinner because I'm just, all of this is too much right now. I'm trying to think. Oh, I can put some Geizos in the air fryer. Or I can put bruh. I'll do some of those on here and I'll just put it in on the salad. I'm about to make the quickest meal I can freaking make, y'all. Quick snap. What is going on with the light on this one? Shout out to God for answering prayers. That's all I can say. However he deemed fit and necessary. Amen. Amen. I keep telling myself I'm going to load the dishwasher as I'm going along so that I don't have to do these big ass moments of loading the dishwasher of all of this shit that I just toss in the sink all day long. And yet it's still here loading the goddamn dishwasher. Like, Erica, deep and for real, honey. Please. Yeah, what is stopping us from going down? How is down here? See? Quickest meal ever. Trader Joe's hot stickers. In a very, very hot pan. I'm using a very small one. That's also because I'm going to steam them. Put a lid on it. Barely. Barely. Is that your last relationship? Have you attempted to find love again? Or you said you wouldn't call it love, right? Or you wouldn't say that you was in love with him? Have you attempted to find love? All right. Now, I actually want to pull this up too. This is salt. Something, but I was attracting some very special, crazy people. I realized I was calling and not only to work on myself. Because you're attracting people that need fixing or need help, and you want to fix people. Is that why you? That's what you identified. All I had to do is throw these things in this little pot here, and I'm gonna add a little bit of water to steam them, some soy sauce and some honey, and that's that on that. I'm gonna put them on top of a salad, and we're done. I wanted to put them in the air fryer. I don't really like the texture that they have when they come out. And so it begins. I can barely sit my ass on the toilet. Gotcha. Girl, we've done that. The next guy after my second love, because I feel like I've only had two loves of my life. Um, well, people I've loved in just this real ridiculously deep way. The third person, right behind the second love, was not a love of life, but because of the circumstances coming out of that relationship and the desire to replace him. It's so funny because number two was in jail during the course of this relationship and writing me, but I never like crossed the line or anything. I'm always going to show up for people, especially if I love them. This nigga wanted me to cross the line, but you down bad, I'm not going to turn my back on you. So that was on a time where I wasn't, like right after we ended, I wasn't in no contact. It took a while, like after he got out of jail. But I think that guy, one, getting physical with, and then two, just desperately wanting to be over number two and wanting to be in something different, and then listening to friends um, aided in me tricking myself into believing I liked him more than I actually did. Thank God he did some fuck shit because I would have committed to the idea of him when the actualization of him was not actually somebody that I wanted or would have been interested in. Phenomenal physical acts, but other than that, alright, I'm probably gonna have to run the dishwasher twice. I let all this stuff go. I'm putting pans in there too now, so that's probably why. Let me know if the dishwasher's too loud, y'all. I'm almost finished. And I haven't finished breaking I haven't started the damn salad sauce, so I'm just like, I'm about to eat these little 5 pot stickers. Because I don't feel like cutting up no vegetables and tossing them in these hemp seeds and almonds and dressing. I'm not even really like super hungry. I just feel like the responsible thing to do is eat because I had such a hard workout day. So I'm just gonna eat these little things. I'm gonna eat a banana. I'm gonna save these little peaches that got these little hot spots on them because I'll put them in like a salad tomorrow maybe for lunch. I don't feel like cutting these up. Doing what I was gonna do with this damn salad. It's too much. Too much. So as of right now, I'm just doing these things, which I just put in the pot. I don't have to do much of nothing. Fry them first, throw in some water, some soy sauce, and some maple syrup to steam them in, and then take them out. Easy peasy. It's not a really good presentation, y'all, so. Girl, he's the only one who like, well after that I stopped going physical with men. So that helped me out a lot. Again, I try to learn, man. Alright. Um, so I haven't had that experience again because I also haven't been physical again post him. And then before I actually like those, well, there's only one other guy before. I've only had 2 sexual partners. Number two actually had a really great personality. It's good. This is delicious. It's a shrimp Kaiser. 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 Yeah. to enter the inventory and then asking a lot of questions early on running background checks. Oh, you got them. Ah, my iPad. I don't know where it is. I think it's downstairs. I had a bike ride today. I have been on live a lot. I'm gonna call you. I'm about to get off of here. I'm just gonna eat these little geyso and wrap up. I did 40 miles in the mountains, 3,000 foot elevation. I am spent. Let's go. It's a quick midnight snack. Ah! Oh, what fruit are you cutting? We gotta get off TikTok. Well, y'all, I'm down to 1.5. When this is done, I'm getting off here because I'm going to go watch the shy and probably call my friend who happened to introduce me to this like 5 years ago. I'm good and gather sparkling water. Had it for the first time at her house in Miami. Listen, if I fall asleep between now and getting this iPad, I am not to be blamed. I just unloaded and loaded the dishwasher after a 40-mile bike ride in the mountains. Oh shoot. Started defrosting these shrimp. I'm gonna put them in the fridge. Thank God I looked back because I did not even remember that I did this. Those would have been a waste by tomorrow. Alright, y'all. They're gone. That is part 2. The closing of the loop. The bike ride went great. I'm exhausted. Can barely sit down. But it's awesome. You can do hard things. Push yourself. And also, you can do the shit that you like to do. Fuck what everybody else is doing. What do you want to do? You want to climb your ass up 3,000 feet on a Saturday morning in the middle of the mountains? Do it. And Zinga, when you watch this back, do you want to bake for 12 hours straight all the different desserts and stuff that you would have found on Pinterest that you've never tried before? Do that shit. Mariama, you said you already read this, right? Yes, I think you're the reason why I got it, aside from book top. So, I really want to watch the Shy episode, but I also said I really want to start this damn book. So, it's one or the other, because I ain't making it through both. It's given maybe I can start this and watch the Shy tomorrow. Okay, the banana I was supposed to eat for potassium. Done. Now I'm going to take my ass to sit down. Yeah, Angela in here got the book because I showed it, and she's reading it. She's ahead of me, and I'm the one who told her about it. All right, guys. See y'all tomorrow on live. I have to go to this panel discussion, so hopefully I can walk in West LA. And I really want to go to it. I'm excited. If I do a whole weekend where I go to two things, I did a bike ride today and I go to an event tomorrow, it's giving new air vibes. Erica's outside because she don't do that shit. Oh, these fruit flies that I thought I got rid of, but these hoes be hiding on the ceiling and in the lights. Anyway, I'm gonna get their asses. So I might go live at that tomorrow, but I really don't know what time I'm gonna go live tomorrow. I'm gonna play it by ear based off of when I wake up. But I will be live tomorrow for day 25 out of 30. Bruh, time is flown. I appreciate y'all. I hope that you are enjoying this live as much as you said you enjoyed the previous ones. Good night.